Europe maintains a high barrier to entry for medical diagnostic devices. Securing approval for an in vitro diagnostic, or IVD, requires a risk-based assessment, where the level of oversight is determined by the potential impact on patient safety. The final requirement for every manufacturer is the EU Declaration of Conformity. This document, and the CE mark visible on this packaging, allows you to legally sell your product across the European market. This chart outlines the conformity assessment procedures under IVDR. Before the regulatory pathways diverge, every manufacturer must meet 3 core requirements. You must demonstrate general safety and performance, assemble comprehensive technical documentation, and implement a strategy for post-market surveillance. Meeting these initial standards only confirms your entry into the system. Your specific route to compliance depends on how your device is classified. The lowest risk category includes Class A non-sterile devices, such as basic laboratory equipment. Because these pose the least risk to patients, the path to compliance is direct. Manufacturers of these devices can assess their own products and self-declare conformity without the need for an external audit. The process changes once you move to Class A sterile devices or moderate-risk Class B devices, such as pregnancy tests. For these tiers, self-declaration is no longer an option. Manufacturers are required to establish a formal quality management system, which is then audited by an independent organization known as a notified body. This external oversight is visible on the final product. The CE mark is accompanied by a 4-digit number, identifying the specific notified body responsible for monitoring the device. The involvement of a notified body marks the point where manufacturer autonomy is replaced by active regulatory surveillance. Pacing quickened slightly. For Class C and Class D devices, the regulatory requirements increase significantly. These high-risk categories include critical diagnostics, where an incorrect result could lead to a life-threatening situation. As shown here, Class C manufacturers must choose between a comprehensive technical documentation assessment or an EU type examination, which involves testing a physical sample of the device. Within this category, certain devices trigger additional requirements. If a diagnostic is designed to determine a patient's eligibility for a specific drug, it is classified as a companion diagnostic. This classification requires a mandatory consultation with the European Medicines Agency. The EMA must review the link between the diagnostic and the drug therapy before the device can be approved. Class D represents the highest risk level, covering tests for life-threatening diseases like HIV or hepatitis. These devices are subject to the most intense scrutiny in the framework. The Class D pathway mandates that device performance be independently verified by EU reference laboratories. Furthermore, the notified body must perform strict verification on every batch of product before it can be shipped. For these high-risk categories, scrutiny shifts from manufacturing quality processes to the core science of the device itself. The IVDR framework serves as a proportional defense mechanism designed by European legislators to ensure public health safety. This data illustrates the impact of a classification error. If a device is incorrectly identified as Class B instead of Class C, the project faces immediate rejection, resulting in significant timeline delays and unplanned costs. Third-party scrutiny increases in direct proportion to patient risk, leaving zero room for assumptions during the planning phase. Mapping a device's journey through these regulatory tiers requires absolute precision. A single error can force a manufacturer to restart the entire compliance process. You can manage this complexity with the right strategy. Contact i3CG Global today for expert guidance in determining your IVDR classification and securing your path to the EU market.